Guys, I can confidently tell you that nothing in this video you're about to see is AI generated. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Nick here from the Lost River Drive-In, and today I'm here to give you my review for the latest indie horror film recently acquired by Shudder, Late Night with the Devil. Now, a little backstory on this. This movie was a movie I was really looking forward to last year when David Dastmalchian was on the Boo Crew podcast for BloodyDisgusting.com, and he talked about how he was really excited for this movie to come out. He was really excited for people to see it. When I heard his plot synopsis, I was like, this kind of sounds awesome. Didn't hear anything more about it. I know it was a film festival darling, especially in Australia where it was filmed, and then it just kind of comes out, and I was like, oh my god, I never even saw a trailer, but I remembered hearing about it. I went and checked this out in theaters tonight, guys, and I'm going to preview my thoughts just by saying I loved this movie for many reasons that I'm going to get into. I want to let you know this will be completely spoiler free. The Late Night with the Devil is about a talk show host in the 1970s, Jack Del Roy, played by David Dastmalchian. And this movie plays as like a found footage movie in a sense, where all of the footage is compiled from the cameras, the broadcast cameras that are recording the broadcast, and then behind the scenes in between intermissions. That is kind of how this movie plays. So it's found footage in a way, but not at the same time. Once you see it, you'll understand. But basically, he's a talk show host that is really trying to compete with Johnny Carson. So he takes a really big swing. Hey, let's have a demonic possession, proof of a demonic possession happen on my late night show. That will boost the ratings. We'll get a 40 share. We'll beat Carson for the first time. That's the movie. That is the plot of the movie. There's nothing more that you need to know about this movie. Now, here are the negatives about Late Night with the Devil. Yeah, there aren't any. Now, I'm not really kidding. There's this controversy right now going around online about how during a couple of the intermissions in the movie, they use AI-generated photos to show like, oh, we'll be right back or whatever. It happens, I believe the filmmaker said, like 3 or 4 times in the movie. And a lot of people are just up in arms about this. Let me just state for the record, and I'm going to get over this real quick. I don't want to cover this too much. I do believe that AI has some use, but I also think it needs to be contained because it can be quite dangerous. Having said that, the writers, the directors, and the actors all got their deals. They're all happy. They're all back to work. If we're really, really going to hold it against a movie, an indie movie with a small budget, to have a couple of photos that were AI generated that you'll never remember, and if you watch the movie, you won't even notice. If you're really going to hold that against this movie and not go see the movie, dude, that's really weird. And based off of what I've seen on Twitter, it's not a lot of people, but there are some people vocally against that. I mean, whatever, dude. I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Now, getting into the movie itself, let me just give you guys my pros. David Dastmalchian is a powerhouse in this movie. I think he is an incredible actor. I love almost everything I've seen him in. I actually don't think I can think of a bad performance. This might be one of his best, if not his best performances I have seen. And I mean that wholeheartedly. The range of emotions, the fear on his face, the sadness at times, the shock, the surprise, the way he's able to play such a lovable talk show host. It's perfect. He's great in this movie. The girl who played Lily, Ingrid Torelli, is just delightfully creepy. She commands the screen when she's on it, and she freaks me the hell out. She also made me laugh at times. She is awesome in this movie. The cast all around, they just give great performances. This movie transports you back to the 1970s. If you're a fan of the 70s aesthetic, whether that's music, culture, the look of it, this movie has it in spades. It is absolutely wonderful. The way they play up this talk show host angle in this late night TV set and scenario, it's perfect. It felt so lived in. It felt so real, and I just loved that because they weren't as popular as I was growing up. You know, this wasn't in the 70s and 80s. I didn't grow up, so I know Carson was big back then. But even the ones that I was familiar with, and even some of the ones that are still going today, this felt very lived in and very real. But it felt like very much a part of its time, and they did a great job recreating it. Also, this movie takes place on Halloween, so I feel like this is going to be a Halloween watch for years to come for a lot of horror fans, and I think that's really cool. We can never get enough like Halloween movies. And I think personally, the ending of this movie is a very slow build, and you should have known that if you have watched a trailer or you've read anything about the movie. Obviously, the climax is going to be where everything happens, because this is a talk show. The thing the filmmakers are tasked with are keeping you invested for the first hour of this movie before shit really hits the fan. And they do that through the performances, through the cinematography, through the intrigue. It just draws you in. This movie at no point bored me. It's darkly comedic at times, sometimes unintentionally, and I love the wicked sense of humor that's throughout this movie. Now, some of you guys might hear that and go, should it be funny? Once you see it, you'll understand in context. But yes, look, overall, guys, if you're a fan of the slow burn, more, I don't want to say highbrow because that sounds so like douchey, but it is definitely more highbrow in the sense of it makes you think, it makes you question, and it takes a while to get to where it goes. If you're a fan of that, you're really going to like this. But if you're not a fan of it, I still think you're going to like it because it still delivers a bonkers third act, and it's not hard to follow. It's pretty straightforward. And again, these performances and these actors, they really bring you into this, and it's very lived in. It feels very real. I have to just say, I don't like to be reactionary sometimes. I've tried to really work on that, but this is definitely a contender for horror movie of the year. Now, I know we're only a quarter into the year. This is going to be up there when the year is said and done. I really, really do believe it will be. This movie is absolutely great. So I cannot recommend this movie enough. You guys know how I do my rating scale. This one is going to firmly get a front row seat rating. I absolutely think you guys need to see this. If you cannot see it at a theater near you because it is only released limitedly, please check it out on Shudder on April 19th. Shout out to my buddy Jaden for letting me know that. Guys, you're gonna love it. I really think you're gonna love it, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. If you have seen it, discuss it in the comments down below with me. Let me know what you thought. If you haven't seen it and you're weary about it or you have questions about it, discuss with me anything and everything down below in the comments section. And this is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In from Studio My Bedroom. I'm pulling out.